working 219 innings, giving up only 183 hits. He has walked just 45 while striking out 151. And he's held the opposition to a 225 batting average, fourth in the National League.
And for the Expos defensively in the infield, Aldretti, DeShields, Foley, and Wallach. Left to right in the outfield, Raines, Martinez, and Walker. Mercado behind the plate, and as Ralph mentioned, Martinez on the mound.
The umpires for the game tonight: Eric Gregg calling the balls and strikes behind home plate, Jerry Crawford at first base, Doug Harvey, the head man of this crew, is at second base, and Dana DeMuth is the umpire at third. We're inside here in the Big O, and the Mets with their second game with Montreal. The Mets are 8-8 with Montreal this year here in the Big O. Olympic Stadium, they have won 4 of the 7 games played. Howard Johnson will lead it off for the Mets, 1 for 4 last night. In his last 11 games, he's hit .325, and he has a 5-game hitting streak. His overall average at .247 with 23 home runs and 88 runs batted in. Howard, lifetime, a .256 hitter against Montreal pitching with 17 home runs. And Martinez starts off with a fastball and gets a strike. The Mets on the road with a record of 35-41 against right-handed starters. They're 61-37. And on this road trip, the Mets have won 3 of the 5 games played. One strike pitch, the curveball for a ball, and it's 1-1. Johnson decoying the bunt, drawing Wallach in from his third base position.
Early in September, Dennis Martinez was struck by a line drive off the bat of Wally Backman, and he missed about 12 days. First pitch of the game against the Pirates.
Put back in action now. The 1-1 pitch, again the curve, and he has a good curveball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Very slow pitcher.
He is good. Yeah, he's definitely slow, but he has good stuff. He has good fastball, curveball, slider, and change.
He has won 163 games in his major league career while losing 133. Lifetime against the Mets, he has won 6 and lost 7. The 1-2 pitch, fastball for a ball, and it's 2-2. He was a winning pitcher against the Mets on April 14th, beating Doc Gooden. And a losing pitcher against the Mets, losing to Viola on August the 2nd. And the fastball outside, and the count goes to 3-2.
He usually has those long counts on hitters also, besides being very methodical on the mound.
Pitches like Early Wynn used to. He gets out in front and then makes you go after bad balls. At least he tries to. Here's his 3-2 pitch. He has fine control. This ball popped up in foul territory. Wallach over, but the ball into the stands, out of play.
Oh, and went into rehabilitation.
He had a rehab program in 1984. And he misses with the fastball, and Johnson works out a walk. So the Mets have their leadoff batter on. He's second in the National League in on-base average, with a .414 on-base average with 70 walks. Throw over to first base. Johnson with 31 stolen bases in 39 attempts.
I'd put him in motion just to get things going. It looks like recently the Mets have been waiting for things to happen rather than going out and getting things going.
Yesterday they manufactured a run. This ball fouled down and threw it away, trying to get Miller at third. The Mets got their first run of the ball game. They got their next 2 on the base hit as a pinch hitter by Magadan, winning 3-1. There goes Johnson, and the pitch is taken. The throw is not in time, and Johnson has a stolen base.
Looked like he came out the base for a moment, but was able to get there. Well, Mercado had trouble throwing with the Mets. You better believe the Mets are going to be running against him. Here's Hojo getting a pretty good jump off first base. Great acceleration. Howard Johnson can accelerate from first to second with anybody in the National League. And you see the end of the play. Now watch Hojo. Was able to hold on with that foot.
Johnson getting his 32nd stolen base in 40 attempts. The count 1-1 to Magadan, and the pitch a curveball, a called strike 1-2.
If you look at the lineup card that Buddy Harrelson has in the dugout, you will see all the pitchers the Expos have. Next to their name will be the times, how quickly they get the ball to the catcher, and how quickly the catcher gets the ball to second base. That's relatively new. And that's why stealing a base has become a lot easier.
1-2 the count to Magadan. And this one grounded foul, so the count stays ability there. They figure it takes about 3.1 seconds to get the ball to second from the pitching mound to the catcher to second to throw out a runner. This ball is fouled back. The count stays at 1-2.
If I was a young kicker.
Once again, the 1-2 pitch. And it's low, fastball, 2-2. Incidentally, the Montreal Expos have thrown out only 19% of the runners attempting to steal.
That's why they picked up Mercado. There's a kid that can throw.
He has quick feet, talking about feet.
And a good arm.
Mets have been successful throwing out runners 25% of the time. 2-2 pitch. Again, the fastball just missing, and again a 3-2 count. So for the second batters, he hadn't had a bat somewhere between 12 and 15.
There's Tim Burke, number 44.
So the 3-2 pitch. Magadan grounds a curveball. Rusty Staub was one of the best at that. So again, the 3-2. And the fastball hit out to right field. It's away from the right fielder, and it'll be off of the fence. Johnson holding at second base, now coming around, and the relay throw to the plate is not in time. Wow. And Johnson, who held at second, thinking that ball was going to be caught by Walker in right, had to really turn it on to get in ahead of the throw, as a relay throw went almost to second base and then was rooted back into home.
Well, Howard Johnson felt the ball be caught, so he went back to tag up. Then the ball wasn't caught. Walker made a nice throw. He has a fine throwing arm, the right fielder. Now here it is. Magadan hits the ball off the wall. Walker, who's a fine right fielder, goes back and gets the ball in a hurry. But the cutoff man assumed that Howard Johnson had a good jump off second base. The ball's overthrown the cutoff man, and boy, this is close at home plate. Good hard slide by Howard Johnson, getting him through Mercado.
So the Mets take the early lead on the double by Magadan, his 64th RBI, and that'll bring up Tim Tuffle. Another fine piece of hitting by Dave Magadan. Tuffle 1 for 4 last night. And his first pitch chopped over the pitching mound, fielded by the shortstop Foley to throw to first base for the out. And on the out, Magadan crosses over to third, where he can score on an out. Strawberry with a runner at third and one man out. And the curveball is in there for a called strike. Strawberry hitting .277, 37 home runs, 107 runs batted in. He has set a new Met record for RBIs with his 107. And a half swing for strike 2.
Darryl started to swing, and sometimes when you do this, you're saying to yourself, don't swing it. Just don't swing it, don't swing it, and you're swinging it anyways.
There's the 2-strike pitch, and this one out of the strike zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Strawberry against Montreal with a career batting average of .314 with 31 home runs, 3 of them this year. Infield is in. Already in the first inning. That is rather peculiar with a hitter that can hit the ball as hard as Strawberry.
Got to get combat pay to come in on the artificial turf with him hitting. Here's Buck Rogers.
And the 1-2 pitch again out of the strike zone. A fastball that time, 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch is swung on and fouled, so Strawberry keeps the count at game of this series. 2-2. Strawberry bounces it up the middle. It'll go through for a base hit. And Magadan comes in to score from third. So the Mets lead at 2-0. And with that infield in, a base hit for Darryl Strawberry.
We've talked about how strong Strawberry is when you see him hit his home runs. Watch this. He has those strong hands. When he puts that ball in play, ball shoots through this artificial turf. Of course, as Ralph mentioned, the infield end. I believe if the infield was back, the ball still gets through because of the turf. He's just so strong, and he uses those hands so well when he's swinging. Now, that's not a good swing, but he puts the bat on the ball, and the ball just hits that turf and goes through.
Moral of that story is he put the bat on the ball, and that's how you get the runner in from third base. The strikeout, of course, would not do that. And now Magadan scoring for the second run, and Kevin McReynolds the batter. McReynolds 2 for 4 yesterday, hitting .266 in the year with 24 home runs, 81 runs batted in. And the fastball moves him back. 1 ball, 1 strike. McReynolds has had 10 hits in his last 17 at bats. He has been hot. And the pitch to McReynolds again inside. 2-1 the count. Reynolds, a good hitter against Montreal throughout his career, hitting .306 with 23 home runs.
Saw that great shot behind home plate, that curveball starting off at McReynolds and then breaking. Had me flinching.
Strawberry a very short lead at first. He still draws the throw. Two balls, 1 strike. And the curveball too low, and it's 3-1. Buddy Harrelson likes to put the runner in motion on 3-1 pitches. I've never really agreed with that if you got a power hitter at the plate.
Of course, in this situation, Darryl Strawberry still nursing that sore lower back. See what happens.
He does not go, and the pitch is grounded foul, so it goes to 3-2. A lot of hitters will chase bad balls with the runner going. Strawberry should be running here, and he is. The ball hitting the hole, and it will be a base hit to right field. Strawberry on his way to third, and he'll go there without a throw. And the Mets now with runners at first and third as a attack here in the first inning.
If the runner breaks from first base.
Jeffries 1 for 4 yesterday, hitting .282 in the year with 15 home runs, 67 RBIs. And the first pitch, a curve for a called strike. The pitch back to Jeffries, a fastball just low. 1-1. Jeffries in a heavy slump here in the month of September. And he bounces it right back to Martinez. They'll try for 2, and they get it. So the double play ends the inning, but the Mets get 2 runs on 3 hits. They leave 1, and the score at the end of 1/2 inning, the Mets 2 and Montreal coming up. Crane's a former batting champion in the National League. And the first pitch by Cone, a called strike on a swing.
They moved him back into the first slot so he would be more productive. He struggled as a third hitter. Here he goes right here. Here's the pitch to Raines. Trying to check his swing.
Raines says, I can't believe you call that a strike, but he did go too far, and it's a 1-strike count. Fastball rides high, 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's a real good chance you're not going to see Tim Raines in a Montreal Expo uniform next year.
This is his walk year.
I don't believe he can walk, but I think they might trade him.
Think so?
Yeah, that's what everybody's talking about, even the people with the Expos.
He has not been as productive as he once was. He was one of the brilliant players in the National League, but lately he has not turned it on.
He was brilliant as a leadoff man.
That pitch is fouled off, so it's 2-2.
He's one of the great talents in baseball. But it's just another example of how important that third hitter or the fourth hitter in the lineup really is to a ball club. They're expected to drive in runs. It's quite a responsibility, and there are only a few guys who can live up to that responsibility.
Now the 2-2 pitch, and it's hit on the ground to the first base side. A great play by Magadan. The race is on, and Cone wins it. Raines out on a Beautiful play by Magadan. Runs on the year and 38 runs batted in.
Looks like Martinez might get a shot at playing every day next year, not only against right-handers, but also against left-handers.
He started yesterday's game against Sid Fernandez, a left-hander. Then he takes the first pitch for ball one.
They gave that center field job to Marquis Grissom, but Dave Martinez took it away from him.
1-0 pitch by Cohn, again out of the strike zone, 2-0.
I wonder if all that talk surrounding Tim Raines has to do with maybe moving Grissom to left field.
Martinez 26 today, and the fastball popped up. Howard Johnson, the shortstop, making the call and catch. Howard at shortstop, since taking over for Kevin Elster, with Elster going on the DL, has made just one error in 199 total chances over a period of 42 games. And that was a throwing error. He has been superb at shortstop. Now with 2 men out, the batter will be Delino DeShields, and he misses the fastball.
Now, it took the Expos a while, but they decided to put the Shields in the third slot because they feel he can be productive and drive in runs.
And that pitch a ball. The Shields with 19 infield hits. 8 of them have been for bunt base hits. Goes after a bad pitch, 1-2.
He's one of 14 rookies the Expos have used this year.
And the curveball outside, 2-2. The Expos, in spite of the fact that they're out of the pennant race, magic number is 1 for the Expos, have surprised everybody. They've had a good year. And there's a curve in for a called strike. So Cohn strikes out his first batter, works a 1-2-3 inning. And for the Mets, it'll be Darrell Boston to lead it off. Boston, the torrid series against the Cubs in the first 4 games of this road trip, and he takes the first pitch. Ball 1. Boston with 5 hits in his last 14 at bats, 2 of them home runs. He hits this ball on the ground through the hole and into right field for a base hit. So Boston continues his strong hitting. 4th hit for the Mets. We're in the 2nd. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Mets and is intended for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Mets, Sterling Doubleday Enterprises, and Sports Channel is prohibited. Charlie O'Brien, the batter, a runner at first, no one out. There goes Boston. The throw by Mercado is not in time, and the Mets have their 2nd stolen base. So the Mets putting the pressure on, and they have now had their lead batter on base and with a stolen base in the first 2 innings.
And a decent jump. Once again, the Mets will test Orlando Mercado because he did not throw well when he was playing for them. He bounces that ball right there, and DeShields makes a fine catch, but much too late.
Mets doing a job on Montreal, who leads the National League in stolen bases. And the pitch to O'Brien, sliced foul. They count at 1-1.
You mentioned the trouble they've had, Ralph, as far as throwing runners out at second base. So you've got to try them. Everybody's got to try them.
They have thrown out only 19% of the runners attempting to steal. A good average would be 30%. Boston at second, 1-1 the count on O'Brien. And again, he fouls it off. O'Brien 1 for 3 yesterday.
Talking about the Expos catchers, they tell me they have a catcher in Double-A ball that they say reminds them a lot of Gary Carter. Tell you, I got to see him.
Carter, of course, started his career with the Montreal Expos and started as an outfielder. Barry Foote was a catcher at the time. Then Carter got behind the plate and was the #1 man for Montreal for many, many years before he's traded to the Mets. And another one slides foul, so the count stays at 1 ball and 2 strikes. O'Brien trying to hit behind the runner. Hitting 173 on the year with no home runs and 9 runs batted in. And the curveball hit out toward the second base side and is caught by DeShields. So O'Brien trying to go to right field doesn't hit it hard enough. And he is out.
I know O'Brien's an 8th place hitter, but do you want the catcher trying to move the runner over to third base?
Not with the pitcher coming up.
There are certain guys you want to move the runner over. Power hitters, you don't want them to move the runner over, although it's become fashionable the past few years to even ask the power hitters to move the guy over. I can't believe it.
Game has changed considerably.
Oh, boy.
David Cohn, the batter, and he takes the first pitch high for a ball. David, with 11 hits, has driven in 3 runs, hitting 175. Last year, he led all the National League pitchers in base hits with 18. And he goes after the fastball, tailing away, and it's 1-1. David Cohn has done something no Mets pitcher has ever done. He appeared as a pinch hitter and had a base hit.
Right here in Montreal.
Single to center field. One ball, 1 strike. And the fastball for ball 2. 2-1 the count. Mets leading 2-0. A runner at second with 1 out. And the shortstop Foley coming over to cover at second, but no throw. Two balls, 1 strike to count to David Cohn. And ball 3, so it's a 3-1 count. Dennis Martinez working for Montreal. There goes the runner, and the ball is swung on a miss. The throw to third is not in time, and also a bad throw. Wallach stopping the ball that was thrown in the dirt. And Boston now at third base with a 3-2 count and 1 man out.
This has to be a big jump. Look at this. He had a running lead to third base. Mercado would be better off holding the ball. He bounces the ball. Nice play by Wallach, keeping the ball in the infield. That's a tough play. Knocked over by Darrell Boston. Excellent play by Tim Wallach. And another angle. Ball is bounced. Boston with a big jump off second base. You got Dennis Martinez. When he goes to the plate, he's slow. And the catcher's struggling when he's throwing.
Now the infield coming in, and the curveball is ball 4, so Cohn gets a big walk.
Ralph,
as Martinez throws the curve to the pitcher in a 3-2 pitch.
What's going on? He must have a lot of confidence in his curveball to throw that to a pitcher. 3-2.
So if you're a hitter, you got to know that if you're up there, he's going to throw the curve on 3-2 if he throws it to a pitcher.
Boy, Tony, a lot of respect for David Cohn ever since he got that pinch hit up here.
Maybe that's the answer. That brings up Howard Johnson. Johnson scored the first run of the ball game after a walk in a 3-2 pitch and a stolen base. A double by Magadan got him in. Magadan scored on a base hit by Strawberry. The Mets leading 2-0 and threatening with runners at first and third and 1 man out here in the second. Johnson hitting .247 with 88 runs batted in, along with 23 home runs. And the first pitch, a fastball for a ball. So Martinez struggling here in the early part of this game. He's had 93 complete games in his major league career, and 18 of them have been shutouts. 7 complete games this year. 2 of those were shutouts. But trailing by a score of 2-0 here in the second. And the fastball, a called strike, and Johnson unhappy with that call. 1-1 the count.
Well, if you were the hitter, would you be upset? Here's the pitch.
Yes, I would.
Wow. Off the plate.
So instead of a 2-0 count, it's 1 ball and 1 strike. And the pitch to Johnson, looped into left field for a base hit. Boston comes in the score, and the Mets are leading by a score of 3-0 as Johnson gets his 89th run batted in. Just exactly what Howard Johnson did, and that brings up Dave Magadan with runners at first and second and 1 man out. Magadan with a double and an RBI his first time up. First pitch to Magadan, the fastball right on through for a called strike. Magadan second in the National League in on-base average. Came into this game with a .414 on-base average. Second to Lenny Dykstra. Curveball for a ball, 1-1. It looks like Dykstra will not lead the league in hitting. Willie McGee with an average of .335, Dykstra at .327. And it looks like George Brett will win the batting title in the American League. He has a commanding lead over Ricky Henderson. And there's a pitch for a ball, and it's 2-1.
Talking to Dave Magadan before the ball game about that batting race. He said he had no problem with Willie McGee leading the league even though he's gone. See, that would bother me. You're chasing a ghost.
Departed one at that, and that pitch is strike, and it's 2-2.
Well, let's see where this pitch was. Dave Magadan not happy with it. Boy, I'll tell you, that's a wide strike zone.
There's the look of Magadan. Magadan on a 3-2 pitch. Doubled his first time up. Hits this one right back to the mound, and they're going to get another 1-6-3 double play, and that will end the inning. Same type of play ended for you. Tim Wallach hitting .299. 1 for 4 yesterday. He has 20 home runs, 95 runs batted in. He's trying to become the 3rd Montreal Expo player to hit 300 with 100 RBIs. Ken Singleton, 1973, did it. Al Oliver in 1982 did it. And the first pitch, a fastball fouled off, strike 1. Ken Singleton in the ballpark as a broadcaster here for Montreal.
Well, he's a good ball player. Ken Singleton, outstanding player for the Baltimore Orioles. Talk about a run producer.
And the curveball for a ball, 1-1. Singleton, of course, started his career with the Mets, was traded to the Montreal Expos, and then traded on to Baltimore.
Switch hitting outfielder.
I worked with Ken down in the Winter League one year on his hitting. They traded him the next year.
Did they ask you your recommendation, or did they just
didn't even ask? They figured that he'd.
There he is.
They didn't even ask. They just said, "See you later."
That was the only guy you ever worked with, huh?
Pretty good job.
You did an excellent job, Ralph.
I signed one player, Doc Edwards. He made it to the majors, and I worked with one player, Ken Singleton, and he became a great hitter.
So you'll take credit for both.
I'll quit while I'm ahead. 3-1 the count. And ball 4.
You know, I would have really enjoyed working with you, Ralph.
Hitting .228. 18 home runs, 48 RBIs, and he bloops this one down in the shallow left field. It'll drop in for a base hit. McReynolds takes it on the bounce. Wally goes to second and holds there as they bring the ball back in. So Larry Walker with a base hit.
It was a broken bat base hit. You can see Jeffries and Johnson going after that ball and the ball dropping in. Once again, another example about better to get jammed than to be too far in front. And Walker on first base with a hit. Wallach on second base, and the Expos got something going here in the bottom of the second.
That'll bring up Mike Aldretti playing in place of Andres Galarraga. Aldretti hitting .247 with 1 home run, 16 runs batted in. He represents the time run at the plate. Cohen's first pitch, a fastball, a called strike.
Galarraga striking out 3 times in last night's ball game, and you can tell just talking about Galarraga with members of the Expos that they're disenchanted with the strikeout. 165
strikeouts for the year. That's an all-time record. He held the old record, so it wasn't anything new. Number 14 there.
An outstanding defensive first baseman.
And a check in the swing, but a called strike. It's strike 2.
It really hurts when you go up in a situation with in the middle of the order with runners in scoring position to strike out and take a team out of a big inning.
18 strikeouts in his last 38 at bats.
This is the first team I've heard becoming disenchanted with a player because of the strikeout.
And a 2-strike pitch taken high, 1-2. Galarraga with 20 home runs this year and 81 runs batted in, hitting .250.
Usually teams tolerate the strikeout more so today than ever before. But now maybe the tide is turning.
And the 1-2 pitch low, and it's 2-2. Galarraga, the only man in the history of Major League Baseball to lead the league in hits and also in strikeouts with over 150 strikeouts.
That's when you tolerate it.
When he made contact, he hit 380 actually. Take away those strikeouts. The 2-2 pitch. And it's ball 3. So Cohen in trouble with runners at first and second in the count at 3-2. The Mets while playing for the Giants. There go the runners, and the pitch is swung on and fouled. So the runners will go back.
Aldretti, while he was with the Giants, became a star in a hurry. One of the fans' favorites out there, Mike Aldretti, did an outstanding job, and then all of a sudden, bang, he was traded away.
Batted .325 for the Giants in 1987 in 126 games. 3-2, the runners go again, and the ball hit in the air to center field. Boston right there. Wallach, who was on his way to third, retreats to second. Spike on, I should say. And now the pitch, and it's a breaking ball for a called strike. Foley originally in the major leagues with the Cincinnati Reds. And the fastball hit foul out of play. Foley, an ambidextrous player. He was a right-handed shortstop in school and a left-handed quarterback. Curveball hit hard and taken by the second baseman Tuffle, and he made a good play and picked up the out as the runners move up a base. Wallach with 3 home runs, 7 runs batted in. He's hitting .333 for Montreal. He's had 1 hit in 3 at bats. Big out here for David Cohen. And the check swing and a bouncing ball to first. Magadan has it, goes to the bag, and that retires the side. So,
although the ball club, I guess, is going to be sold, they've got about 14 investors putting up $5 million each, and then the government, I guess, is going to put some money into the pot, although the government will have no say.
You believe that? You believe that the Brooklyn Bridge is for sale? And the first pitch to Tuffle. It's ball one. Tuffle grounded out his first time up. And ball two, 2-0. Dennis Martinez on the mound. He has been reached for 3 runs on 5 hits in the first 2 innings. Came in with a record of 10-10. Last year he was 16-7. Tuffle pulls the fastball foul, scattering the Mets.
Here's that foul ball clearing out part of that dugout.
Franco taking off like a shot. No, he did also getting out of the way, and this one again pulled foul. Two and two, the count to Tim Tuffle.
See how relaxed starting pitchers are. Of course, you get some relievers there that are pretty relaxed. Pitchers are starting pitchers. They know they're not going to have to get in this ball game. They know they're not going to be called upon.
And whatever that pitch was, a split finger fastball, strikes out Tuffle. A lot of mover up the middle with the infield in. And the fastball a ball.
Tell you, we talk about long home run Strawberry hit. I've got to believe the longest one he hit off Martinez here at Olympic Stadium.
This ball hit in the air to left field. Tim Raines right there. 2 men away. Hit to the vacated position of the second baseman, who is covering second on the play. Came on a 3-2 pitch, and that pitch, a strike. It's 1-1. 11 hits in his last 18 at-bats for Kevin McReynolds. And a good curve. 1-2 the count. And the fastball gets him. So 2 strikeouts in a 1-2-3 inning. And Dennis Martinez on the first pitch pops it out in front of home plate. It's fielded there by O'Brien to throw to first for the out.
The French.
Dating back to 1981 when he led the league in stolen bases in that strike year. He set a record for stolen bases by a rookie with 71 in 88 games. Since surpassed, now held by Vince Coleman, who had 130 in his first year. Raines this year with 45 stolen bases in 60 attempts. 1-1 the count. Good pitch there for a strike, and it's 1-2. Going lifetime against Montreal, 3-3. One of those losses this year to Montreal. Good curveball gets him. So David Cohn with that sharp breaking curveball gets his second strikeout. Both of them on curves.
Well, looking at the.
David Cohn has struck out 10 or more batters 8 times this year.
By the way, Ralph, we have a score. Chicago Cubs have a 1-0 lead against the Pirates.
And there's ball one. Cubs led 3-0 yesterday and then lost the ball game.
Drabek did it not only pitching but also hitting. Doug Drabek winning his 21st ball game of the season.
This one popped up and playable. Johnson, the shortstop, making the call and catch, and Montreal going in order for the second time in 3 innings. The score.
Martinez takes a strike on the inside part of the plate. Mets leading 3-0. Fouled straight back. No balls, 2 strikes to Greg Jeffers. Jeffries hit into an inning-ending double play in the first. Mets jumping on Martinez right away. Martinez really pitching behind the hitters in this game. It's a tremendous advantage to the offense. Not so far this inning, though. Up and away, ball one. 1-2. Mets trying to sneak up on the Pirates. Breaking ball. He tries for the back door. Does not get it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pirates trailing 1-0 in the fourth. Martinez very slow on the mound. Breaking ball, grounder right at the first baseman. Aldretti takes it himself. 1 down. It's been a little bit of a struggle for Jeffries.
Center fielder, Darrell Boston.
Puts an awful lot of pressure on himself, doesn't he, Ralph?
He does that. Dropping from 300 to 282 in this month of September.
He'll learn a lot. Let's hope he can get it running here in this last few ball games. They need everybody. Darrell Boston takes a strike. Boston quite a at bat his first time up after singling. He stole 2 bases. Ground ball to Hopper to the second baseman to Shields. Over to first, 2 down. O'Brien takes a ball. Charlie trying to get the runner over from second. Had 2 strikes on himself and kept trying to force it, Ralph. Got jammed extremely hard. This time it's a fly ball to center. Martinez way back. He's got room. Nice play by the center fielder. 3 up, 3 down. Fly ball left field. Plenty room for McReynolds. 1 down. Fouled straight back by Tim Wallach. Strike 1. I had the pleasure to play for Gene Mark. Ralph, when you're an opposing player, you always seem to have this animosity toward Gene Mark, but playing for him was a great experience for me. One of the guys I enjoyed playing for the most.
He knows so much about baseball. He was a teammate of mine when I was with the Chicago Cubs, and even then as a player, you could see he was going to be managerial talent because he really knows the game of baseball.
2 strikes on Wallach. Ball outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gene was here a lot of years in the early expansion of the Expos. Really had some characters to deal with in those early years. Breaking ball down and away. 2-2. Old Park Jarry is now a tennis facility, but I can tell you anybody that was around Park Jarry remembers it with a smile on their face, except maybe a few visiting pitchers.
With the wind blowing out to right field and that short porch, all the left-handed batters would have a smile on their face.
Full count now. Wallach waiting on Cone. Goes for a bad pitch. Magadan has it. The toss to Cone. 2 down. Yeah, they had the old organ going all the time at Park Jarry. They had a guy that had a goose walking around all the time, had a seat for the goose.
Had the baker that danced in the aisles.
Oh, he was great. There was just something special about that.
And they had to hold up the ball game when you played an early game there to let the sun set because you couldn't see the ball when you were the first baseman when the throw came from the shortstop.
Particularly late in the season, that's a fact. 2 down. Walker takes the ball inside. Walker trying to notch a couple of home runs to get to the 2020 club. Good breaking ball that time by Cone.
The PA announcer over there that used to give you the Coco La Boy.
Oh, and John Bocabella. I mean, he'd roll those words out. It was awesome. 2 balls and a strike. make it 3-1. That PA announcer's name was Claude Mouton. He also did some of the hockey games here. Tremendous voice. All a part of old Park Jarry. But we're in the Big O. 3-1, 2 down. Full count now. The Expos will play all their remaining games here in the Big O. 2 more series to come. Walker steps out. We'll try it again at 3-2. Ball 4 up and away. Second walk in the game for David Cone. And it will bring up Mike Aldretti. Aldretti hit a ball fairly sharp to the center fielder his first time up. Boston was there to catch it. Expos #1 in the National League in stolen bases. Walker has 20. Back to first. The Montreal rookie record for home runs is 19. That's held by Andre Dawson. There's a strike by David Cone. Walker just one behind that. Some interesting statistics about David Cone. We'll get to him as we go along here. Down and in, a throw to first, a little late. 1-1. David Cone. Everybody talks about the batting average against, and David Cone is one of the best in the league with a .237 batting average against. In his first 30 pitches, this is an amazing stat. The opposition is hitting .290 against David Cone. There's a ball, 2 balls and a strike. In his pitches 31 to 90, the opposition is hitting .198. I mean, if ever the proverb is get him early, he's the guy. If he gets over 90 pitches, the batting average for the opposition goes up to .261. That ball fouled out of play. So it seems as though if you do not get to David Cone in the first 2 innings, it's going to be tough to get to him till at least the 7th. We'll see what happens. We're in the bottom of the 4th. Mets ahead 3-0. Walker with a lead. Full count. Magadan will drop behind the runner. Walker will take off with the pitch. Tom Foley in the on-deck circle. Runner goes. All 4 back-to-back walks with 2 down. Foley getting a start. Resting Spike Owen. Hard ground ball, foul. Strike 1.
Foley almost cast a runner back in the 2nd inning against David Cone when he grounded sharply between the first baseman and second baseman. Tim Tuffle made an outstanding play in the ball to get Foley out and save at least 1 run from scoring, maybe 2.
No balls and a strike. 2 down, 2 on. Inside, 1-1. Mets will face Kevin Gross tomorrow. Be going up against Ron Darling. Gross and manager Buck Rogers really not seeing eye to eye lately. A lot of comments in the paper headlines, as a matter of fact. See this 1-1 pitch. Way out of the strike zone. I mean, David Cone is really having a tough time. And here comes Mel Stottlemyre for the 2nd time in this game. And here comes David Cone. Fly ball, little pop-up, is going to be out of play behind the third base dugout. The count will go to 2-2. We talk about pitchers getting ahead of the hitters and how the batting averages change. David Cone actually is the #1 guy in the National League in 0-2 counts, no balls, 2 strikes. 23.8% of the time, David Cone goes to 0-2. That leads the league. Ground ball firmly, almost takes Tommy Harper out, but he gets out of the way.
Where are you getting these stats?
I've been working, Ralph.
I mean, are they verified or just made up?
These are verifiable. Verifiable. Hey, there's a couple of interesting stats that were also in this thing that we were doing. We were all talking about, again, the whole idea of people being ahead and behind in the count. The on-base percentage of guys who are hitting that get a 3-1 count, what would you think that is, Ralph?
I'd say about 400.
How about 579? That's in the major leagues. That's the on-base percentage. 2-2. Fouled off a game. On a 3-1 count, the on-base percentage from that point on is 579. On a 2-0 count,
well, that you're figuring in walks now.
480 is the on-base percentage. Now you reverse that and you go to an 0-2 count, it's 199. I mean, you can't emphasize enough how important it is for a pitcher to be ahead in the count. Foley takes ball 3. The runners will be. Time is called. We'll go on 3-2. Runners take off. Fouled off.
Next question is, how do you get to 0-2?
You got to throw strikes. There they go. Little tapper to third. Jeffries has it to throw to first. Will get Foley. The Expos strand. Bad news for Mets fans from Pittsburgh. Andy Van Slyke hit a 2-run triple. That was followed by an RBI single by Bobby Bonilla, and they now lead Chicago 3-1.
The Mets have to match Pittsburgh's record to have a chance to tie with Pittsburgh. So if Pittsburgh wins, the Mets have to win to have a chance to tie.
Mets go into Pittsburgh 3 games back. They have to win 4 in a row from the Pirates. All 4 games, the playoff game included, would be in Pittsburgh. In fact, Jim Leyland has said that he's going to pass up Drabek and pitch all left-handers against the New York Mets. Ball 1 to David Cone. Base hit to left field, a sharp ground ball between the third baseman and the shortstop, and a leadoff single for Coney.
Well, David Cone set up the Mets' 3rd run when he walked in the 3-2 pitch back in the 2nd inning. Howard Johnson followed with a base hit to drive in a run. Now he picks up his 12th base hit of the year as he singles the lead off the inning here in the 5th.
Howard has walked and scored, stole a base that first time up, and then he had that RBI single. You see Aldretti behind David Cone. And Howard takes a ball. That's something to say you're going to not start your best pitcher because he's a right-hander against the New York Mets.
21-game winner.
Little off the end ball right to third base. A little leap there. Wallach timed it correctly. It'll be 1 out. Dave Magadan coming to the plate. David drove in that first run. It was with a double. He also scored a run in the first. And an inning double play back to the pitcher in the second. Magadan waiting. Well, it happened a lot. Martinez, one of the slowest workers in baseball. Ground ball, foul. And fans, we'd like to remind you that New York Met Baseball is brought to you by Manufacturers Hanover, where your money has power. This is a pretty good combination. Martinez on the mound, Magadan at the plate. Could be a long delay. Mags does take some time up there himself. Hard breaking ball, down and in, ball one. 1-1 is the count. The Mets 8-8 this year with the Montreal Expos. There's a breaking ball, this time for a strike. 1-2. In fact, except against the San Diego Padres, where the Mets were 5-7, they've either tied or beaten every team in the yearly series in 1990. There's some that have not been decided yet, namely here, Chicago and Pittsburgh. Strike three, catches the outside corner. Magadan does not like it, but it's not going to do him much good. He said that. He said, how much are you going to give him out there? He said, I've been calling that pitch all day. Well, here's a look at it.
There's no doubt about it. He's been calling this pitch. It's been a consistent call, and that pitch was too close to take with Eric Gregg, the umpire, behind home. Here's a look at it from behind at the angle, and
it's a pitcher's pitch. Two down and Cone at first. Good breaking ball that time by Martinez. He struggled in his first few innings. He seems to be settling down himself. He'll regroup. Magadan will. He'll have to. That at bat is over. Mercado, a good block. David Cone was going nowhere, though. What did you think of the commissioner's decision to not let Minnie Minoso try for 6 decades?
I think it was a great decision. They should never let him try for the 5th decade.
I'm in accord with you there, Ralph.
Make a travesty out of the record book.
Breaking ball. It's out of the zone. 2 balls and a strike. Freak things like that should not be a part of this game. I thought the commissioner's decision was a wise one. Fly ball center field. Dropping back a little bit is Martinez. He's got plenty room, though. He has it. And on the budget for another run, they now lead 4-1. You can see how everybody's smiling as he's coming along. Nobody's telling him anything. Frankie V really getting a kick out of it. Bottom of the 5th, Mets lead 3-0. Orlando Mercado in a Montreal uniform facing David Cone. He doesn't want to see that pitch very often. That was a dandy. Strike 1. Foul straight back. 0-2.
Mercado doing something that no other player but Bobby Bonds ever did. Grand slam home run in his first game in the major leagues.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. David Cone that time just overmatching Orlando Mercado. Strikeout. He's got it off the top of his head now. Even he can smile a little bit. 1969 Astros. as Martinez takes ball one. Set the record. It was 1,221. Whoa, not even close. There wasn't much of his body that was in this one, Ralph. Check this one out.
Well, the mind was willing, the body was weak.
That was an official bail there. That was a fastball. He makes a little contact on that one. Showed him the same pitch twice in a row. Second time he at least touched it. What do you think is going to happen here if he drops that yellow hammer on him?
Might fall right over backwards.
Well, he didn't waste it. He just threw a fastball out there. Martinez waved at it.
And 2-run ball games.
And won't cut it sometimes. They have a chance to maybe be the first team in the history of baseball that's been under in those situations and won a championship. Rain's waiting. Ball two. The Pirates, on the other hand, and this is a big stat for them, in those 1- and 2-run ball games, their record is 42-29. That is #1 in the National League, and that's why they're leading this division.
And they've done that without much of a bullpen.
Jim Leyland has to be given a lot of credit for the way he worked those guys. Fly ball, a center field lazy fly ball. Easy play for Boston. And an easy inning for David Cone. Mets leading 3-0. Straw fouls it straight back. Top of the 6th inning. The Mets 3 runs on 6 hits. The Expos no runs on but 1 hit. Even though David Cone has struggled a little bit with his control and his rhythm, he's been able to work out of the jams he's gotten into. Catching the inside corner. Martinez likes to do that. No balls, 2 strikes. Goes for it again. This time it's a little bit up. 1-2. Remember, anybody with an 0-2 count in the major leagues, a less than a 200 batting average or on base percentage. We'll see what happens with Strawberry. Fouled straight back. The action microphones down on the field really picking up those bounces. There it is. Whoa. Almost right into the camera. 1-2 to Strawberry. Again, very slow Dennis Martinez on the mound. Breaking ball. Straw slaps it out of play. Darrell missing the game last night. Buddy Harrelson opting to use mostly a right-handed hitting offense. Darrell, his back has been stiff. He singled in a run his first time up, though. The ground ball is right at the second baseman. The Shields to Aldretti, and there's 1 down. They'll bring up McReynolds. McReynolds singled in the first and struck out in the third.
Using that right-handed hitting lineup last night. So how do the Mets win the ball game? With a left-hand batter hitting.
Pinch hitting against a right-handed pitcher. Tremendous at bat for Magadan. So 12 as a strike to McReynolds. So 12 pitches in that at bat. Fouled off 6 balls. Fouled off 12 pitches. That pop-up is into Shields' sights. 2 down. Magadan finished that at bat with a 2 RBI hit that gave the Expos a loss and the Mets a win. Jeffries has grounded into a double play and grounded out to first. Ball hit in between everybody. Sometimes it's not how hard you hit it, it's where you hit it. Jeffries picked a good spot that time, so he'll get a single.
That ball dropping between the left fielder and the shortstop. Tim Raines has been criticized for his outfield play here in Montreal, and there's a lot of talk that he might not be here next year.
Well, he plays extremely deep. Balls like that, the opposite side, a left-handed hitter. Sometimes you figure that the left fielder might adjust and come in. Doesn't happen very often with Tim Raines. Some people say it's because he wants to play deep. Some people say they think he's lazy. Somewhere in between is probably correct. But he definitely does not challenge in left field.
He made the big mistake of starting off as an outstanding player, leading the league in hitting, and he's never quite measured up to that here of late.
There's a strike, 1-1.
Sort of like the Billy Lowe's theory. Billy, pitching for the Brooklyn Dodgers, did not ever want to win 20 ball games. He said if you did, they'd expect it of you the next year.
Well, I hope not too many people follow that philosophy. Darrell Boston, 1 for 2 on the night, a couple of stolen bases. Hit the ball well to right field, but for naught, because Walker was right there. The Mets will strand one, and after 5.5 innings, there's a little bit of disarray right now. Charles Bronfman, the majority owner, said he is going to sell the club. There's a strike call to Martinez. Claude Brochu, who is the president of the club, has tried to put together some local people. They have not yet finalized the deal, but they're trying to keep it, the franchise that is, right here in Montreal. 1-1 to Martinez. Expos have really struggled with their offense. In the last 60 innings of play, they have only had 33 hits. That's amazing. Mets hope it stay that way. Martinez, one of the few batters you'll see that holds his hands close and up. See how steady they are. They're right in the middle of his body. Get a little side view of that, you'll see it a little better. Watch where he places his hands. Most guys have their hands back. He has them down and close to his body and goes right from there. Fly ball to left. McReynolds has it, 1 down. That's something you do not see very often, Ralph.
A lot of the old-fashioned style in that type of swing. A lot of batters in the old days used to hold the ball, the bat right in the center like he does. They're mainly batters that slap at the ball and run fast. Very hard to get the bat into a strong hitting position from there.
DeShields takes strike 1.
But before Babe Ruth changed the game of baseball, a lot of batters used to stand that way.
Another breaking ball up and out of the strike zone. You can see how frustrated David Cone is when he does that. He's done that a lot tonight. It's a good fastball, tailing. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And DeShields waiting again. Just missing inside. Cone tried for the little tailback, catching the inside corner and just missed. Strike 3. Bottom dropped out of that fastball. That really had some action. Strikeout number 5 for David Cone.
The sound of the ball popping into the glove makes it sound like Cone soaring about 140 miles an hour. He gets up to about 94, 95 with his good fastball, and he picks up a strikeout there. That's his 5th in the game.
Wallach has walked and grounded out. There's a strike. Watch the ball. Right off that front foot. Wow.
Pay for that. Cohn started 6 strikeouts behind Martinez, who is leading the National League in strikeouts. So Cohn needs another to tie Martinez.
He is 2/3 of the way there. 2 strikes, 2 outs. Wallach waiting. He goes for the breaking ball, and that'll tie him for the league lead. But more importantly, it ends the 6th inning for the New York Mets, and they still lead 3-0.
That guy wants to be just like you.
Well, he better be ready. He's going to have a lot of problems. Got to be strong.
Well, the Mets have been strong 3-0. They're in front of the Montreal Expos. And there's a fly ball into shallow left field. Foley calls for it, makes the grab. So Charlie O'Brien is 0 for 3. 3-0. Mets on top of the Expos, top of the 7th inning. It's 7 hits for the Mets, only 1 hit for the Expos. David Cone has been tough. So has Martinez since the 2nd inning. David Cone, the batter, takes a strike. Eric Gregg has kind of a wide strike zone tonight.
It's been consistent. That's the one thing you want of an umpire. You may not like the fact that it's a wide zone, but if you know you have to swing the bat, you got to go up there and hack. You can't take the close pitches. Again, we talked about against the left-handed pitchers how you have to make some adjustments against an umpire who's giving the outside corner particularly. You have to move up. You have to get in there a little bit, not let that pitch be so far outside. You have to be able to handle that pitch, and if they come inside, you have to fight it off the best you can. Otherwise, you're going to tote that lumber back to the dugout.
The 0-2 pitch is fouled off again. Well, is it fair to say that his strike zone has been a little bit wider than the outside corner?
Doesn't make any difference. It's been consistent.
It's funny how easy you are to please now that you're up here.
No, I tell you what, you don't like it as a hitter, but you have to make the adjustment. He's not.
There's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3, 2 men down.
3rd strikeout for Dennis Martinez. There's Eric Gregg. Eric has written a book about his life in baseball.
Well, Howard Johnson is the batter. Hojo 1 for 2 and walked. Time was called. Boy, that is dangerous.
That's happened a lot of times tonight, and the reason is Martinez takes so long on the mound, getting his sign, getting everything together. I mean, all of a sudden, Eric Gregg, something happened with Eric. Howard Johnson didn't call time there. Eric Gregg didn't like something unless Howard did something vocally that we could not see.
The 0-2 pitch. Should say it's the first pitch outside, ball 1. You know, if you're a youngster and you go to wind up and throw a ball, or you're throwing a ball from any position in the infield or outfield, throw it, even if time is called. You hold that, you're going to hurt your arm. Brian Downing's the greatest example I can give. He was a catcher with the White Sox, held on to a ball, hurt his arm, he had to move to another position. Fouled off. 1-1.
We could also recommend that you make sure that you're going to tell the people that you're throwing to that you're going to do it.
Well, no, you don't throw it hard. Just throw it. Release it, even if you throw it away. Boy, is that a dangerous thing. 1-1 on Howard Johnson. Beautiful evening here in Montreal.
Well, it's got to be great. Tops on.
You're absolutely right. That's why it is so beautiful indoors.
Sorry, Francis. That's the truth.
And the 1-1 pitch. A looper down the left field line. Fair ball. Howard Johnson will hustle to second base with a double.
I'll tell you, Howard watched that play a little too long that time. Almost wound up being in a position that a good throw might have gotten him at second base. Take a look at it. Again, tailing down and away right off the end of the bat. You see him watching there. But as he rounded first, he looked at the play. I think he thought maybe they were going to call a ground rule double. See, he's not running hard. All of a sudden he sees the throw coming, and then he kicked it in. Close play. That should have been easy.
So Howard Johnson on second base. And they will walk Dave Maganin to pitch to Tim Tuffle.
Maganin smiling there. He exchanged a word or two with Eric Gregg, who had called him out his last time up.
Remember a few years ago they were going to do away with those 4 pitches, just tell the batter to take his base? Then they decided to continue having the pitcher throw the ball outside.
I don't think the occasional intentional walks are going to solve the problems of speeding up ball games. I think there's a lot of pressure on, as there always has been in the game. And Dennis Martinez, I mean, you're not going to have a fast game if he pitches 7 or 8 innings. It's just that simple.
Dennis Martinez, a guy who's had some trouble here in Montreal with his manager Buck Rogers this year. He's been critical of Buck Rogers.
So has Kevin Gross, who's pitching tomorrow night. We said earlier, headlines, you know, Kevin Gross getting on Rogers. Rogers rebutted him too.
Rarely is a manager criticized by a guy who's having a good season.
Well, they took Gross out of the rotation, and that's what brought on the confrontation.
Well, Tim Tuffle's 0 for 3. Runners on first and second. 2 men down. Way inside with the heater, ball 1. Tuffle will be followed by Darryl Strawberry. Not a good crowd for this ball game. Baseball has struggled in Montreal on and off. There's Kevin Gross. He has struggled this season, although he's pitching tomorrow night. One 1-0 pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses. It's now 2-0 on Tuffle.
Dennis Martinez is not the kind of pitcher that gives in easily. He does not like to throw the 2-0, 3-1 fastballs. He's walked some people on some breaking balls tonight.
He walked David Cone on a 3-2 curveball. I couldn't believe it.
That's what I was trying to get to when he walked David Cone, the pitcher. We're looking at Hall and Rojas. Hall, obviously, the left-hander. If you're going to throw the pitcher a 3-2 hook, what are you going to do? You got to pay attention to that if you're the hitters.
2-0 pitch to Tuffle. Inside, 3-0.
With Strawberry coming up next. You let Tuffle hit. Don't think too long now. I didn't mean to hit you with anything big.
Do I let him hit? Yes.
I would not.
Understood. 3-0 pitch. There's a strike. 3-1. 2 men down. 7th inning. 3-0 Mets. And Dennis Martinez steps off the rubber. Would you let him hit 3-1?
Yes. Absolutely. Go get him.
Three and two.
As we told you, there's a 3-1 curveball. Dennis Martinez says, I'm not giving in to you. He gave him a 2-0 fastball trying to jam him, and a 3-0. There's a 3-1 pitch. Breaking ball for a strike. You throw that pitch like he just threw it for a strike, 3-1.
Forget it.
Boy, you're not Not that many people are going to hit that pitch.
So what are you looking for right here? You got to sit on a
look
fastball.
fastball. You got to look fastball and handle a breaking ball as best you can.
What's in the back of your mind right now, though?
Fastball.
And it's inside, ball 4. Bases are loaded with Mets for Big D. Bases are loaded with Mets. Swung on and missed, strike 1. Strawberry in this ball game, 1 for 2 and an RBI, 1 for 3 and an RBI. Oh, and 2. Well, he's thrown 2 nasty breaking balls to Strawberry.
It's a tough pitch to lay off of, obviously. Here's a look at it. Coming right at you, down and in. Got Darrow back-to-back on that pitch.
The heater is pulled foul. Still 0-2 on Darryl Strawberry. 2 men down, top of the 7th inning, 3-0 Mets. 8 hits for the Mets, only 1 hit for the Expos. David Cone has been in control. That hit was a single by Larry Walker back in the 2nd inning. Oh-2 pitch. Down and in.
Howard Johnson at third base, very alert. He realizes that's a favorite pitch. Can just as easily not be blocked. Third base coach Chuck Hiller keeping everybody alert.
Dennis Martinez walks all the way around to the back of the mound and then walks up to toe the rubber. Saw the runners. Strawberry gets time. Once again, a Met asks for time. Look at Martinez walking around to the back of the mound.
And you can tell he never picks up the target at all until he is ready to deliver the ball. You can tell by the way he wound up there.
And the 1-2 pitch. Strike 3. Ball gets away from Mercado. Easy play. And that'll do it for Strawberry and the Mets. Here in the 7th inning, they trails the Mets 3-0. It's the bottom of the 7th inning. Walker has the only hit in the ball game for the Expos. Takes a fastball up high. Ball 1. Larry Walker batting .228 with 18 dingers and 48 RBIs. Swung on and missed, 1-1. He's the 5th Expo player in their history to be a native Canadian. Boy, Cone's got a good fastball.
He's popping the ball tonight.
2-1, and pitchers love to hear that glove pop. Inside, 3-1. In fact, in the bullpen, they like it when a catcher has a glove where they can hear the pop. Sometimes that can be misleading.
I was just getting ready to say, a lot of times the pitcher should not hear it. Might think that fastball is more than it is.
That's right. And the 3-1 pitch. There's a strike, 3-2. In fact, if a catcher uses a break in his glove and the glove is really broken in very well, you can make that glove silent. It can be so soft, your hand's so soft, you can drive the pitcher crazy. Popped up. Howard Johnson calling for it. And he makes the grab, 1 down.
That'll be new first baseman, Mike Aldrete.
And the batter now will be Mike Aldrete. This Olympic Stadium has to help hitters in September, in the month of April, as opposed to Jarry Park. No
Could be
roof.
cold. Certainly could be cold.
There's a curveball for a strike. I mentioned it earlier. Dennis Martinez and David Cone started to get together, started to really get their good stuff after the 2nd inning. Although Coney, I guess, has had it all night. There you see the roof here. Outside. 1-1. Popped up again. Kevin McReynolds calling for it and makes the grab. 2 down.
94, shortstop, Tom Foley.
So with 2 men down here in the 7th, the batter will be Tom Foley. Foley 0 for 2. Grounded to second and grounded to third. It's funny how injuries can change your career. Here's a guy who was going to be a starter for the Cincinnati Reds. Ended up getting traded to Philadelphia and was hurt. There's a strike.
In fact, Roger McDowell hit him in the wrist.
That's right.
In a spring training game. Really set him back.
There's a strike. 0-2. Pirates are winning their ball game. Mets have to win here. That could turn out to be quite a series in Pittsburgh. Strike 3. O'Brien unable to come up with it. Throw the first in time. That'll do it for the Expos here in the bottom of the 7th. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the top of the 8th inning with the Mets in front, 3-0.
We have a new catcher as well. That is Goff. And on the mound is Mel Rojas. Rojas, a 3-1 record, a 3.19 earned run average. This is his 21st game. In 36 2/3 innings, he has given up 30 hits. He has walked 21, which is a lot, and struck out 21. Mel Rojas.
So Rojas pitching to the new catcher Goff. And the batter Kevin McReynolds takes ball 1. Down low. 2-0. McReynolds in tonight's ball game, 1 for 3. He singled to right his first time up, struck out, and popped to second base. 3-0 to Mets on top of the Expos. Pirates winning their ball game in Pittsburgh. There's a foul ball. Keep in mind that day in and day out, at home or on the road, you can always count on the great taste of Bud Light. It delivers every time, so ask for Bud Light, because everything else is just a light. And a 2-1 pitch is down low. 3-1. Up high, ball 4. So the leadoff man is on for the Mets. Don't forget, tomorrow night the same 2 teams go at it and catch all the action right here on Sports Channel. Ron Darling against Kevin Gross. Then Friday night, let's go back to Shea, and that place should be rocking again, Rusty.
Yep, the doctor will be going for 19 against Greg Maddux. Then on Saturday, Frankie V will be facing Les Lancaster. And because of Sid Fernandez's injury, we're going to see what happens. It's undecided against Steve Wilson on Sunday afternoon. Saturday and Sunday are afternoon games. We'll bring you the Friday night and the Saturday afternoon game right here on Sports Channel. So join Fran, Ralph, and myself. Try to bring those games to you if you cannot get out to Shea.
Inside to Jeffries. 1-1. Jeffries 1 for 3. Down low. 2-1.
Congratulations to another 30-30 guy, Ron Gant, in Atlanta last night. Joined the 30-30 club for the first time.
I think it's a pretty good talent down there. How about Dave Justice? Hit a grand slam last night.
He's been pounding. 28 home runs he has.
He's got over 20 since the All-Star break.
And he has probably just taken that Rookie of the Year award away from Delino DeShields.
Yeah, he did. The home run will do it every time. There goes McReynolds. Fouled off. 2-2.
That was always one of my favorite moves that pitchers did when they make that little quick step off and look at you.
And he throws over.
Either throw it or don't.
Did they keep
What a
you?
waste of time that was.
Did they keep you close when you were on first?
When I was quick and agile, yes.
Fouled off.
And I'm waiting for the next remark from you.
I'm not saying a word.
There were times.
It was a long time ago, though, right?
I believe I had a stolen base off a distinguished colleague of mine, as a matter of fact.
Who would that be?
Who's the only catcher in this booth? Ex-catcher.
Ralph? 2-2 pitch. Inside, 3-2.
You can see you laboring over all the books all night tonight, trying to find out when it was.
That's right. I will research it. There goes McReynolds. There's a high fly ball to right field. Walker's back and makes the grab. 1 down.
So many of Jeffrey's outs are fly balls, pop-ups. It's something that I'm sure over the course of this winter he will digest. He will try to do something.
Here you're trying to muscle the ball. Up high to Boston, ball 1.
Seems like he's always grinding, trying to grind that bat to sawdust with his hands.
He's going to have to learn to get that tension out of his body. I remember the late Charlie Lau talking about that when he was the batting instructor in Kansas City. Inside to Boston. 2-0. In fact, Darryl Boston, if you watch him, he gets that bat. He has a lot of movement with the bat. And Charlie Lau, Darryl Boston learned that from Walt Riniak, who was a disciple of Charlie Lau. And Charlie Lau felt that would take the tension out of your body when you're at the plate. You see what he's doing there? Of course, I guess certain guys do it different ways. Down low. 3-0. I'm sitting with an outstanding hitter. How did you get it out?
Well, I'll tell you this much. I think it's an individual thing for everybody. I was not a practitioner of Charlie Lau's theory. I always felt the least amount of movement was the best.
3 and this ball 4.
I can remember when Ted Williams would come to spring training with the Boston Red Sox and Walt Reniak would be working with the hitters. That was a very, very difficult situation for Walt Reniak because Teddy Ballgame definitely was against the theories of as much as I could. Sometimes you have to throw some things out. You have to be your own hitter. I think one of the real weaknesses in hitting sometimes nowadays that people do rely so much on everybody else and they don't study themselves enough to know why they're doing good and why they're not doing good.
Charlie O'Brien, by the way, the batter, 1-0 count. Runners on first and second, 1 out. Ground ball foul. 1-1 now.
I mean, if you are in a good streak, you should know why you're in that good streak. Mike Cubbage, the hitting instructor for the New York Mets. Hitting instructor can talk to you. He's talked a lot to the hitters about adjusting. We talked about this in the Chicago series. He talked to a lot of them about moving up on the left-handers, making that ball, you know, that everybody's struggling with, not be in the same location.
Swung on a miss. Ball gets away from Goff and the runners advance. So now runners on second and third with 1 man down.
They've called that a wild pitch. Let's take a look at it. That was way out front. Breaking ball. You can bet the guys on the Met bench would like to see some insurance runs here.
Infield comes in, a 1-2 pitch, fouled off. So the count remains 1-2. I'm very surprised. I don't know if they do or they don't, but if they don't, I'm surprised that the players don't talk to you and Ralph. Pick your brains about hitting.
From time to time, I run up a conversation with one of the hitters. They want to talk to me, but for the most part, I try to leave most of that work to the people who are hired to do it.
I'm sure that people would be sensitive.
Yes.
Not only here, but any team. I mean, there was a big blow up in Boston this year. Richie Hebner going at it with Carl Yastrzemski. Here's the pitch to O'Brien. Swung on strike 3 to throw to first. In time. 2 down. There was a blow up in Boston where Dwight Evans had some time off, and he worked with Carl Yastrzemski, and I guess it upset the hitting instructor, Richie Hebner.
Well, I think occasionally that hitting instructors maybe do get a little too sensitive. The end result is what you're looking for to help your ball club, and if someone knows another hitter and has had a lot of experience with him, as Yaz has with Dwight Evans, he and Dewey played a lot of years together.
And David Coyne's the ball up the middle. Shields makes the play in time. So the Expos work out of the jam. The Mets strand 2 here in the top of the 8th inning. We played 7.5 at the Big O in Montreal, and it's 3-0 New York. 3, they have runners on first and third in the 9th. There's Buddy Harrelson. Sure, he's concerned about that score, but more concerned about this ball game here at the Big O.
Well, the Mets have put themselves in that situation, Fran. They had a lot of chances to not be 3 games back. They are right now. They can only concern themselves with the games at hand. They've got to win every game going into Pittsburgh that they could possibly win, because it's going to be a tough road to hoe. They're going to have to almost win all the games in Pittsburgh to win.
Takes ball 1. There's a strike. 1-1 on Spike Owen. Baseball has enjoyed some pretty good divisional races this year. Fouled back. Inside. 2-2.
In the National League West, Cincinnati was ahead in their ball game. Los Angeles behind. The magic number for Cincinnati is 5. If that would stay the same, it would reduce by 2-3. The Expos lose this game, they will be officially eliminated. If Pittsburgh wins, they're officially eliminated. Absolutely a tremendous amount of credit to go to this whole organization, particularly the manager, Buck Rogers, to have the kind of a year that this club has had. Everybody expected them to really go right down to the cellar. Lost 60% of their starting rotation, one of their big RBIs, and UB Brooks in right field, and look where they are. Last week of the month, and they're still in it.
Ground ball to Hojo. Scored 6-3. 1 down. Well, the Mets have to win here. They have a 3-0 lead. The batter now, Jerry Goff, young catcher with the Expos. That's a severe jam shot right there, but he gets a hit. Then he goes down and visits with the barrel of his bat.
Second time tonight, a left-handed hitter hit a little dying quail into left field for a base hit. That is the only hits allowed by David Cone.
So Goff is on first base.
Here's a look at it. I mean, he hits it right on the end of the bat. The bat explodes. The thing shook his molars. It took him a couple of seconds to get his head on straight, and then he ran down to first.
And Tim Raines will be the batter. Raines 0 for 3 in tonight's ball game. Takes up high, ball 1. Mentioned Tim Raines possibly being traded during the offseason. The philosophy here with the Expos, and Raines does not fall in this category, is they don't want players up here that are disenchanted. A lot of players come up here, they're disenchanted. Well, they have changed their direction, said we're going to go with young players. Inside. 2-0. And they've won with the young players this year. Of course, they've had some key veterans. He's one of them. Tim Raines, Tim Wallach, another. Galarraga, another.
14 rookies have played on this ball club this year. There's not been a game played where a rookie has not been present. Buck Rogers talking earlier today about mixing in a little bit of age so there'd be a little better blend. It's very difficult. They've done a marvelous job being where they are, but to win, it's very unusual when you win with so many young people.
Yeah.
Buddy Harrelson has Franco going.
Goff leading off first base. There's a strike. Yeah, if you didn't have the veteran players like Wallach and Raines and Galarraga and Martinez, the rookies aren't going to do what this ball club did. Amazing thing is they lost Hubie Brooks. Hubie Brooks has 20 dingers for the Dodgers. 3-1 pitch. Up high, ball 4. So Raines walks. Expos now have runners on first and second with one man down.
It doesn't take a long time for Johnny Franco to get ready. Wisely, the infield coming in to talk to Cone to make sure that if Franco needs a little time, he's got it. John has struggled a little bit of late. He was like invincible for so long. Every time he went out there, he did the job. It was usually something that can't go on a full season.
Well, he was running away with the Roll Age Relief Man Award.
Some of the games that he's had trouble in, it's some seeing eye dogs going through the infield. That one Noboa hit with the Expos was a ball that was about 6 inches off the ground. Some weird things have happened to hurt Johnny Franco. Buddy Harrelson needs him. When you get down to crunch time, you just have to give John Franco the ball and stay with him, because he is the best you have. He's one of the best in baseball.
Well, right now, David Cone still has good stuff. He's just been a little bit out of the strike zone. A jam shot to left field and then a walk. This is a case where the manager would probably be reluctant to pull him out of the ball game. He's only allowed 2 hits so far. Popped up. This baby's playable. Jeffrey's calling for it in foul territory and makes the grab. 2 down.
But if there comes that time, you really can't be afraid to give the ball to John Franco, is what I was trying to get at. And I'm not talking about this exact situation.
Oh, I agree with you. Coney right now,
he's your man.
Coney right now has closer stuff. He can close this ball game himself. But I agree with you. In a tight spot, give the ball to Franco.
John, how fast you throw? Damn, looking good to me.
You hear some discussion in the dugout.
Sometimes you got to be a little careful about those live mics.
Down by that dugout. Nobody's quoting Shakespeare when the game's on. Delino DeShields, the batter, runners on first and second, 2 men out. He takes inside, ball 1. Nothing Mets on top of the Expos. Well pitched ball game by David Cone and Dennis Martinez. Fouled off.
Fry is now warming in the bullpen for the Expos. They got enough guys down there to launch a ship. They got 2 guys protecting the pitcher, 2 guys protecting the catcher.
Down low. 2-1.
There you go. And if they hit a line drive, they'll all bail. Poor pitcher would be out there naked.
Fouled off. 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 8th inning. One of the favorite players for the Expos with the bat in his hand, Delino DeShields. Hits the ball right back to David Cone. And that'll do it for the Expos. Scored 1 of 3. They strand 2 men in. We played 8th here at the Big O. David Cone has been in charge, and it's 3-0 Mets. Boys, well, back here at the Big O, top of the 9th inning. It's been all Mets so far. 3-0 David Cone, talking to Mel Stottlemyre between innings.
Did they get a picture of you earlier in the game down in the stands?
Don't start. That's what I thought. No such picture exists.
Boy, the guys turned on me like mad dogs.
Got a new pitcher?
Oh, we do. Should we get back to the game?
I didn't wake you, did I?
Howard Johnson.
Hall is on the mound. A 4-7 record, 5.15 earned run average. It's his 42nd game. In 57 2/3 innings, he has given up 51 hits, walked 29, and struck out 40. Drew Hall.
And he'll face Howard Johnson. Hall's first pitch to Johnson is a strike. Howard Johnson in this ball game, 2 for 3. He's also walked, stolen base, scored a run,
And played a very consistent shortstop a game. Well, what a job he has done defensively.
popped up, foul territory, and out of play.
Bobby Ojeda getting some throwing in. He is one of the guys who Buddy Harrelson has to have in mind to start the game Sunday against the Chicago Cubs, especially if Sid Fernandez's knee is as bad as everybody thinks it is, and that he's going to miss his next start.
Down low, 1-2.
Julio Valera, obviously one of the other selections.
Besides Sid Fernandez's bad knee, Tommy Herr nursing an injured knee.
Yes.
1-2 on Hojo. Cues the ball into foul territory. So we'll do it again.
You know, we've talked about so many different managers this year and how much Jim Leyland has done a good job. Jim Leyland does not have a contract for next year with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
He'll get one.
You think it'd be tough for him to find a job? The job he has done this year?
And a 1-2 pitch to Hojo. Down and in. 2-2. Think there'll be much movement of managers? It doesn't look that way.
I think the managers will be pretty steady. You never know in this game, obviously. Over the last 3 or 4 years, there have been as many general managers changed as managers.
2-2 pitch. Popped up. This baby's playable. Goff going back and making the grab. 1 down.
That's actually a true statement.
Le premier but.
It used to be that if you're in the front office, your position was fairly stable. The last 3 or 4 seasons, that has not been the case. Jack McKeon just went down, lost his job as the general manager in San Diego. A few other people there have been some questions about whether they're going to be back next year or not.
Dave Maggin in the batter pulls the ball to second base. You can score this one 4-3. 2 down.
Larry Himes lost his job with the White Sox.
And we talked about Walt Reniak before. They say that was a bone of contention between Larry Himes and the ownership. The ownership hired Walt Reniak on their own.
You got Bobby Cox in Atlanta. Whether they're going to stay that same route they've been for the last few years or not. And Larry Doherty took a lot of heat in Pittsburgh for some of the things he's done. You can hardly begrudge what he did with Zane Smith, as well as Zane Smith has done for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
There's a strike to Tim Tupple.
A lot of people were unhappy with the tremendous young players, Moises Alou, etc., who were traded for Zane Smith. But wow, where would they be without him right now?
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Tuff. Fouled off. And you never know about young players. I mean, it's easy to say a young player is going to be a real good major league player, but boy, there is a big gap between AAA and the major leagues.
Some guys take that step up and it seems like nothing. Other people, it's like going up the stairwell at the Empire State Building.
0-2 on Tim Tupple. 2 men down, top of the 9th inning, 3-0 Mets. way inside. 1-2. I think one of the most difficult ways to come into the major leagues is the way Darryl Strawberry came into the major leagues.
No doubt about it. He was a young kid. They put a tremendous amount of pressure on him to save a franchise at that time.
A lot of fanfare. 1-2 pitch. Foul out of play.
Another tough way to come to the big leagues, as we've all seen here, is to come up as one position and have to go to another.
Greg Jeffries.
Believe me, it was tough on Jeffries to have to adjust to being a second baseman in his first year.
Ground ball to second base. DeShields boots the ball and does not throw the ball. He had a shot at him.
Tuffle.
Yes.
He could have gotten Tuffle. That's what you talk about. You can't quit. You got to jump on the ball as quick as you can and make the play. They preach that in every facet of the minor leagues. Certainly as an example here, you have to execute it in the big leagues too. You have to know Tuffle does not have good speed. He drops it, picks it up, and doesn't throw. Break for the Mets.
He didn't know Tim Tuffle's speed or lack of. Tim Tuffle will now get a pinch runner. Down here in the top of the ninth. And they check Miller.
The only thing about sending Miller early in the count is you might want to let Strawberry have a chance to swing the bat. You get a couple of strikes on him, then you might send him.
There's a strike. Well, wouldn't you want him to get into scoring position?
He is already in scoring position for Darryl Strawberry. That's the idea. You don't want to take the bat out of Strawberry's hands.
I send him. 0-1 pitch. Ground ball, base hit, right field. Miller will go to third base. So now the Mets have runners on the corners.
One of the other reasons is it opens the hole between first and second. I'll finish that in just a second. Let's check this pitch.
Inside to McReynolds.
So it'll be Islanders and Devils hockey, premiering Thursday, October 4th, live and exclusive right here on Sports Channel.
One and 0 on McReynolds. And there's a strike. 1-1. 2 men down. Bill Sampson, the new
1.3 earned run average.
1-1 pitch. There's a looper in the left field, and the Mets are able to pick up a big insurance run as Keith Miller comes in. It's now 4-0 New York. Kevin McReynolds picks up his second hit of the ball game and his first RBI. Fouls the ball out of play. He's 1 for 4.
I hate to see him keep making outs in the same way all the time.
Takes down low.
What a future he has. He's going to be an outstanding ball player. And he's done a fine job this year. This is only his second year in the big leagues. A guy who's been shifted around in positions as we talked earlier.
He gets jammed, pulls the ball foul.
He needs some new lumber on that one.
1-2 on Jeffries. 2 men down. Runners on first and second. There's a fly ball to right field. Walker is there. It's a can of corn. That'll do it for the Mets here in the top of the ninth. Butts outside, ball 1. Tim Wallach is one of the few veteran players who has stated he likes playing in Montreal.
It's been a great city for him.
Swung on and missed. 1-1.
He's been a part of this community for quite a bit of time. Has some friendships, some involvements here in the community. It's good to see some players that care about the communities they play in.
Foul out of play. Some players come up here and really they go out and they learn how to speak French. You did that, didn't you?
I try hard. You're looking at Darren Reed playing left field.
Down low.
You have to wonder how McReynolds' wheels are.
Well, you know, he was limping here.
That's what I'm getting at.
Ground ball is short. Hojo to Magadan. 1 down.
When he broke towards second base earlier in the game, coming back, you could tell he was favoring one side.
He said the artificial turf would feel tough on his legs. Let's keep in mind, he was signed out of University of Arkansas while he was in the hospital by the San Diego Padres. Here's a guy who had trouble with his leg, Larry Walker. He's 1 for 2. He missed the whole 1988 season because of a leg injury. There's a strike. He hurt his leg playing winter ball. I'm not that big on winter ball.
Okay.
Fouled off, 0-2.
Did you ever play it?
No.
Okay. Be rather difficult for you to be big on it then.
Did you ever play winter ball?
I played instruction league ball.
That's not the same thing. That's not the same thing. I'm talking about getting on a plane and flying down to Latin
I did not
America.
do that.
Okay.
But then again, I'm not speaking about it.
That's true. Inside, 1-2. Where Larry Walker missed the whole season. Collision at home plate and winter ball. He gets jammed, and Jeffries probably got in Johnson's way. Was that ball hit in a funky manner or what?
That's one of the worst base hits you'll ever see in your life. And Jeffries did confuse Johnson at short. He jumps up in the air. Probably should have just stayed out of the way. It blocked Howard's view of the ball a little bit. You see Jeffries way up in the air. Ball going right over him. It hits Howard in the glove. But you have to believe that he didn't pick the ball up all the way. He should be laughing. That'll be the ugliest hit he may ever get. And he's had 2 in this ball game.
Yes, he has. Got the first hit off of David Cone. That was a jam shot. Otis Nixon, the batter, and he takes a strike. It's 0-1. 1 man down. We're in the bottom of the 9th inning. It's 4-0 Mets.
Otis Nixon is at the plate.
He got severely jammed. There's a fly ball to right field, and Strawberry makes the grab. Otis Nixon has those wrists all bandaged up.
Keeps getting jammed like that, he'll have to get some more tape. We're going to have another pinch hitter. Junior Noboa coming to the plate. Noboa got the big hit off of Franco in that game in New York. Noboa hitting .268 on the season. He is 10 for 34 as a pinch hitter.
2 men down, bottom of the 9th. And it's a strike.
John Franco needs a good outing. Just to rest easily one night. He's been throwing the ball well. Been a little erratic with his control, but just going through that little stretch. Boy, he's throwing good tonight.
That's because that catcher has that glove where you can hear the pop. 0-2. Sounds like they have a microphone in the glove. Ball gets jammed. Foul ball.
You better take a look at that bat. He hit that one down about the knuckles.
There's a few jam shots tonight.
John Franco was getting in some kitchen today.
And as soon as they threw him for slurs.
There is a mic down there.
Certainly is.
Watch yourself, buddy.
And the 0-2 pitch. Ball in play. Jeffries to Magadan. Boy, that handcuffed him. I don't know if Magadan had control of that ball. Doug Harvey, the second base umpire, talking to Jerry Crawford after that ball was caught. But anyways, the Mets win the ball game. David Cone pitches a very good game.
That's win number 13 for David Cone. That's a 13-10 record. John Franco gets his 34th save, and a big one. As we said, Buddy Harrelson has to just give that ball to John Franco when the game is on the line at the end of the ball game. He is the guy, one of the best in baseball. He did exactly that tonight, and John Franco showed his worth.
So David Cone, the winning pitcher. Losing pitcher Dennis Martinez, he also pitched a fine ball game after the second inning. But anyways, David Cone gets the win. Tomorrow night it'll be Ron Darling against Kevin Gross. But we'll talk more about tonight's ball game right after this break. Fran Healy along with Rusty Staub and Ralph Kiner, and a big night for the New York Mets. They were victorious over the Montreal Expos 4-0 in front of, I guess, a small crowd here at the Big O. But anyways, ball game over. The winning pitcher, David Cone, and David Cone pitched a masterpiece.
He did. He struggled a little bit with his control and his rhythm earlier in the game. We pointed out that usually when they get to David Cone, it is early in the first 30 pitches that he throws. From that point on, he did have an inning or two where he struggled a little bit, and I think that's why Buddy Harrelson went to John Franco. John Franco, as we said just as the game ended, really needed to have a good outing just for his own peace of mind, and he did just that.
Well, of course, Dennis Martinez struggled the first 2 innings. He gave up 3 runs, but he got very tough in the middle of that ball game.
Well, he has been. He's been out a little bit. He got hit by a line drive from Wally Backman right on his collarbone. He missed a couple of starts, went out his last time, had a no decision. And